You can't travel on a wrong road for too long and expect to arrive at your destination early. Nigerians rode to nowhere. In 1999, after a windy period of military rule, Nigerians celebrated the advent of democratic governance, hoping that Obasanjo will bet the beginning of a new and prosperous Nigeria. Unfortunately, the long military rule, coupled with most military personnel who transmutated from military to civilian rule, created a military mentality that made Obasanjo turn himself into a headmaster, who treated the governors as errand boys who could be whipped into line for disagreeing with the headmaster, using state apparatus like EFCC, while corruption went on unabated. At the end, funds were wasted until date unaccounted for on a failed third-term bid. Umaru Musa Yar'Adua was subsequently promoted as president, and Nigerians celebrated the election of a graduate for the first time, even though he agreed that the election that brought him to office was far from free or fair. But he didn't last, and you don't want to go into the political intrigues until Goodluck Jonathan was allowed to come on board. In 2011, Nigerians again celebrated the election of a PhD holder as a president who claimed he had no shoes. But in 2015, after the man obviously have had some shoes, Nigerians wanted anybody but Jonathan. Away with his PhD. Even if it's a toilet paper certificate, we don't mind, they say. This ineptitude and incompetence was getting too much. But came Buhari, a retired general, with his anti-corruption stand and his mantra to fight insecurity to a standstill. And like others before him, promised to turn the state into the fastest growing economy in the world with massive infrastructure. Unfortunately today, Nigerians are rather leaving their own country massively as a result of insecurity, lack of basic infrastructure, inefficiency, ineptitude, and gross incompetence. Yet, with the 2023 election fast approaching, Nigerians are yet again building hopes on the same political parties and candidates who will still overpromise and deliver nothing, not because they don't want to, but because they are handicapped by the constitutional structural defect of the country. You can't run a car on diesel and expect it to move like a car who's running on gasoline or fuel. It's not possible. Nigeria is a country with a federal constitution but managed as a unitary system. Yet, the people blindly expect election to bring them development. No be juju be that. No wonder governors like Ben Ayade, Godwin Obaseki, Nyesom Wike and co. during election can hawk appointment of special advisors on a tray like someone hawking akara, appointing almost every youth in the state as SA, yet have no sustainable development plan for creating gainful employment or creating a thriving private business climate that can create jobs for such youth. Even as funds are allegedly laundered through this SA appointment process, yet nobody is worried. Yet, we must all get fixated at the center. Look at all the states of the major contenders, Adamawa, Anambra, and Lagos. None of them can boast of a public pipe-borne water. Yet we are shouting, go and verify. I created Lagos, or I will unify Nigeria. We never start. There's second base, Jerry. Countries only develop when they domicile infrastructural development in the hands of the managers at the local level, except in the case of a dictator. Or maybe after the presidential election, we're expecting a dictatorial president. We have to create stronger federating units where the likes of Peter Obi can be free to harness the resources of the East to turn the region into a productive economy as against a consuming one, without anyone from other regions bothering to go verify. Or where Bola Ahmed Tinubu can use his leadership experience to synergize the resources in the West and create a sustainable economy for them without him convincing other regions that it is his turn. And Atiku can then be free to not only unify the entire North against insecurity, hunger, and banditry, but harness the potential therein for sustainable prosperity without being afraid of a Governor Wike's threats. The region can then contribute to a weaker center for the benefit of the weaker unit and protection of our territorial integrity. I will therefore advocate that Nigeria as presently constituted is not working And no matter who wins the election, with the current constitutional structure, it can never move forward or bet a future of our dream. The earlier we collectively realize that we have traveled on the wrong road for too long and must halt our trip and redirect our coexistence before proceeding on the next journey, the better for all of us. Failure to do this, we will soon realize that after the election, that the various agitations from the federating region may have been suspended for the election and will be renewed with greater strength and vigor after the election, no matter the outcome of the election. For example, if Igbo win, the North and the West will start their own agitation. If the West win, the East will renew their own agitation for Biafra. And if the North wins, then the entire East and West agitation might crumble the country. I am not a prophet of doom, but that is just the reality of our future based on the constitutional road we dey travel now. Well, not everyone agrees with me though, but you can share your own thought with us by following us on all our various social media platforms shown on your screen, and also share your thoughts on previous episodes. Remember, the most difficult person to wake up is he who is pretending to be asleep. We all know it is not working, but we pretend that one person can change it. Make we dey deceive ourselves. See you next week.